guys, so full disclosure, if you're not a Beatles fan or a Paul McCartney fan, you're probably going to be bored shitless by this video, so feel free to click out now if you're not interested in this topic. Throwing it out there, because that is what we're talking about here today. Anyways, so Paul has been teasing a new album for like at least a couple of weeks on his Twitter, and making the fandom go freaking nuts over, oh my god, what does this all mean? Is it part of a new album? Because he first released like a really vague doodle of like a triangle with some lines and some circles around it, and a bunch of people were speculating, oh my god, was this like his LSD doodle of the there are 7 levels thing, which if you don't know that story, I'd be happy to retell it for you or link to him telling the story somewhere. Either way, but a lot of people were speculating maybe it's that. No, it's not. But he kept releasing these vague artworks and doodles and photos and hints and things to where it's becoming more and more obvious that, okay, there's definitely an upcoming album on the horizon, and we're getting more and more little tidbits. Could you get on with it, Paul? Just either drop the album or tell us when it is gonna drop, or drop a single, or drop something. Tell us what's going on. And he finally did. He finally dropped the name of it like a day or two ago. It's called Egypt Station, and it's coming out in September 7th to be totally accurate, my uncle's birthday. It's actually pretty close to the anniversary of when he released his last album. Just throwing it out there. I know for a fact that was, I believe, also a September release. I only know because it was released fairly close proximity to when my grandma died and kind of put a damper on that album for me, which sucks because I really, really like that album, but my brain can't dissociate that album from that life event. So, I mean, it does make me a little sad with a few songs in particular off of it, but yeah, that. So, anyway, coming out in September. But that is not the part we are talking about today. No. We are talking about my first impressions to the 2 singles that he released today through YouTube, which we thank him very much for doing. And I knew they were upcoming today. I was sitting there hitting refresh on Twitter all freaking day until they finally dropped the memo with the links to it and everything. Oh, goodness. I have got some mixed feelings. I listened to each track about 4 or 5 times, I think, at this point, which is not very many, but this is my first impressions. My feelings about these 2 songs may change over time, and they probably will. I'm probably going to warm up to them a lot more the more I listen to them. Just first impressions, that's what we're here for. So the 2 songs he released today are called I Don't Know, which is going to be very difficult for me to talk about that song without it sounding like I'm trying to be punny or whatever in using the phrase while talking about the song, but I don't have a much better phrase to use in its place, so just throwing it out there now. I'm not trying to be witty, it's just a very common phrase. The other one is called Come On To Me. But we're going to talk about the first one first and the second one second. Okay, well, that was redundant, but anyway. I listened to the 2 tracks first just through my computer speakers, and I'm just gonna throw it out there. Put on headphones or listen through a good stereo, because otherwise you're gonna lose a lot. Especially as these are just uploaded through YouTube, you're going to lose a lot of quality and a lot of details in the recordings if you don't listen on something better than what's built into a laptop. Just saying. Take my word for this. The first track that I listened to was I Don't Know. And I probably paused it 4 or 5 times, walked away, and came back when I was just listening through my laptop speakers. Just, again, I'm not trying to make a pun here, but I don't know, I kept walking away from it and just had this unsettling feeling about it and couldn't quite put my finger on what it was. Something just felt off, something felt wrong. It's not a bad song, it's actually a very beautiful song, but just something about it left me feeling unsettled. I was like, I'll come back to that one. Guess I'm gonna listen to the other one. So the other one was Come On To Me. I was like, alright, so this is, okay, more my speed, I'm feeling this one a little more. The lyrics are very repetitive. Fine. I will come back to this too. So I ran off, grabbed my headphones, plugged them in, and was like, let's try this again. Also, I should mention that in both of the videos uploaded with the songs on them, they are peppered with animations of his artwork all throughout them, and I found them incredibly distracting. So when I re-listened to them, I made sure to, like, hit play and then minimize the frickin' window, don't even look at the computer, just focus on the music itself, don't worry about the video that goes with it, just don't even worry about it. So, re-listening to I Don't Know through the headphones this time, and it became immediately apparent to me one of the things that I feel subconsciously left me with this unsettled feeling the first time I tried to listen to it. And you may argue with me that maybe I'm wrong here, but again, unless you're gonna listen through headphones or through really good, high-quality speakers, just hang with me. The piano, especially in the intro, is out of tune. Not by a lot, a little bit. I only notice because my piano is about equally out of tune, and it sounds just like it, and it just... oh my god, it got under my skin because I couldn't unhear it the second that I consciously noticed it. I don't know if this was an executive decision on Paul's part to purposely have it a little tiny bit out of tune, just to leave that unsettling feeling given the content of the lyrics of the song. It would make sense. And actually, if he did that on purpose, and it wasn't just a coincidence, it was very effective. It was very, very effective in what he's trying to convey. And just in terms of a mood and all, I don't know. If it was just coincidental and maybe he was unaware that it was a tiny bit out of tune or thought nobody would notice, then so be it. But I feel like Paul's a lot sharper than that. That strikes me as something he would have done on purpose, trying to accomplish a very specific feeling. So, that was number one on my list of things that I found unsettling about it. But again, it's not that I dislike the song. I don't. I actually do like it. Just, it left me with this weird feeling I couldn't shake. It's this haunting song that just... something about it just left me with this uncertainty, and then paying closer attention to the lyrics, I was like, no wonder. This whole song is about Paul feeling self-doubt, and arguably maybe even describing anxiety to some level, and that, if that is definitely a thing here, then that would make sense why that would resonate with me on such a deep, visceral level, to just get under my skin and be like, I don't know what I find so unsettling about this, but something's unsettling here. And a little bit off-putting initially, but the more I listened to it, I kind of got over the vibe from it, and could just appreciate it for what it was, but just knee-jerk reaction, throwing it out there, that it gave me this weird feeling when I first listened to it. First couple times I listened to it, even. But the harmonies in the middle of it, I don't know if they feel more Beatle-y to me, or if they feel more Wings-esque, but maybe even a little of both, I don't know. Again, not trying to make a pun, but also the guitar towards the end of the song, I guess it's trying to go with the whole Egyptian motif of the album, but it did have a very Middle Eastern kind of a feeling to it. It made me think of George immediately. So that may have been a little nod to him, even though it's not technically India. It does kind of evoke that vibe, while at the same time kind of giving an Egyptian feel to it as well. So I don't know if that's going to be a recurring theme throughout the whole album, or just certain tracks. I don't know. I'm actually quite eager to see what the rest of the album's going to sound like, just based on these two tracks, and I'm very glad that he released two of them and not just the one, because if he'd only released this one, I'd probably be very worried for this album. Again, I don't dislike the track at all, I like it very much, but in addition to just that uncertain feeling that it brought about, another thing I noticed right off the bat that I feel kind of bad for pointing out, but I noticed it and I can't be the only one who noticed, was I feel like this is the first time on a studio album that I've been really, really aware of Paul's age coming through in his voice. I mean, I know that's not that new of a thing. I know it definitely can be heard on other albums in different spots to varying degrees. But from, like, the first word on this one, I was like, whoa, 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 take a step back. I'm used to hearing this from live, versions of songs and things, but usually when he goes into the studio, he does a little bit of studio wizardry and turns back the hands of time, so to speak, on his voice. At least a little bit, and this time it doesn't sound like he did that at all, and it's a little bit jarring. I mean, I know it's been 5 years since his last album, but at the same time, just throwing it out there that it just is very, very painfully aware of the passage of time, of aging, of Paul's mortality, that one day he is not going to be here, and that, the second that hit me like a ton of bricks, I started to cry. Not even gonna lie. I'm starting to do it again now. I'm trying not to, but I mean, that's not the first time one of his songs has done that to me. On the Memory Almost Full album, there's a track called The End of the End that he literally wrote about how he'd like the fans to react the day that he does pass away, and that just, oh my god, I still to this day can't listen to that song without bursting into tears. And I'm sure when he is gone one day, I probably won't even be able to listen to it at all, just ever again, probably, but yeah, it's an upsetting track to me. I get what he was going for. He wants the fans to be okay and to not be sad when he goes, but at the same time, I'm just like, I can't not be sad. I'm sorry, Paul. I fail at this. I can't. But something about this track almost gave me that same visceral reaction that I had to that one. And this same feeling of, oh my god, is Paul okay right now? Can somebody, like, please go check on him and make sure he's okay? Not quite as bad as I felt like that with the other track. Because that one I was like, he's not about to, like, go do something, right? Like, I know he's going through his divorce with Heather, but holy shit, he's okay, right? Obviously that is not a thing anymore at this point, but there is one verse in the song that I really hope is just him being an artist and coming up with a story to tell, and it's not, like, reading between the lines of whatever's going on in his personal life. Like, are he and Nancy okay? I mean, last I knew they were, but look at the lyrics of the song. You'll see exactly the verse I'm talking about. It's pretty blatant, but I'm really hoping that was just him putting down lyrics and not actually a reflection of whatever's going on in his life. So just it's an interesting track. I wouldn't write it off, and even if you get a weird vibe the first time or two you listen to it, just give it time. I can talk. Just wait to see if it grows on you a bit, because the more I listened to it, the more that it lost the weird feeling. It did start to grow on me more and more, and I'm sure it's going to keep growing on me, as many songs of his in the past that on first listen didn't necessarily do much for me, but the more I listened to it, I started to really enjoy it. I think this is going to be one of those. Now, the other single that was released today, Come On To Me, that one's a lot catchier from the get-go. It's very upbeat, it's more of a rocker song. But I'm not throwing shade because I like this one even more than the other song personally, but I am just throwing it out there to be objective, that the lyrics are so repetitive. Holy crap. If nothing else, it'll be easy to sing along with if he does it live on tour, which I get the vibe that he's probably going to. That's probably exactly what he was going for here, was something that's easy for the audience to sing along with. And why does this eye look higher than the other one right now? I don't even know. But, sorry, just distracting myself there in the viewfinder. But I am gonna throw it out there. Two thoughts. Two thoughts. One, writing a song with those lyrics at his age, I know there is going to be haters who come out of the woodwork just to hate on him and be like, he's a dirty old man, and I'm like, calm the hell down, it's not that bad, knock it off. But I could see where some people may have some reservations about the track because of it. I like it, but I am also not normal, so I mean, there's that. But, there's also another gut instinct that by the second time listening to it, I'm like, alright, $10 says right now, somebody writes a damn fanfic about this story, and it's probably gonna be Slash, and it's probably gonna be a McLennan story. And I wouldn't be half surprised if it takes them less than 24 hours to write this thing. Just saying, I can see the writing on the wall with these lyrics. It's just begging for somebody to write a smutfic. I'm calling it now. I'm calling it now. And no, it's not gonna be me before you ask, but I have seen some shit in the fandom. I have seen some shit in the fanfic world, and I see where it's going. I'm calling it right now. Somebody's probably already working on it as we speak, but anyway. With that out of the way, there were some things about this track that made me think not just of Wings, but specifically of, like, kind of the Venus and Mars album, little bit of Wings Over America. The way that the horns were addressed in the song, it very much felt like Wings to me. Maybe even a little bit Band on the Run. Not so much the title track, it's just the album in general where horns are used in various spots, but I feel gut instinct, Venus and Mars more than anything. I don't think he was necessarily trying to do that on purpose, it just worked out that way, but I couldn't unnotice it. And it was kind of a nice little nod because he doesn't do that many Wings-esque things these days, so it's just like, okay, I see what you did there. And I appreciate it. But yeah, it just, there's not a whole lot to say about it other than it's catchy and I like it. And, if you put on headphones with it, it sounds even better, especially with, like, the deep bass drum, may even be a timpani in there somewhere. The further on in the song it gets, just turn it all the way up, put your headphones on, you'll thank me. You'll thank me. I know that I'm biased as a drum girl, but I think you'll thank me anyway. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. But, again, there's not a whole lot I can say about them because the lyrics are so repetitive that's like, alright, well, gonna be honest, I kinda have the gut feeling on this one that may have been a little bit of a throwaway song of his. It kind of felt like he wasn't trying all that hard on the lyrics. I'm not trying to throw shade, because again, I like the song, but Paul kind of has a pattern of, after so many years, he tends to feel obligated to release an album, if he hasn't released one by that time. It seems to be approximately every 5 years. Sometimes it's a little bit less, but ballpark-wise, it does seem like when he gets to about that point, even if he's not feeling that inspired, he just cranks something out. And you can always tell the difference between the ones where he was truly inspired and the ones where he just felt like, well, it's been this many years, I should do an album. Huh. Well, guess I'll just pop these off and record them. Guess we got an album. Yeah, memory almost full. Not gonna, even though I like that album, it kind of felt like one of those. Not as badly as Driving Rain. Driving Rain was the freaking worst with that. It felt like he just was not trying. Yes, you can fight me on that one, but I kind of feel like that about Driving Rain. Sorry, but at least with Memory Almost Full, I can say that I genuinely liked that album. It didn't feel up to par with his other work. It kind of felt like just filler material that everybody would quickly forget. But hopefully it was just a one-off here, because the other one has potential, so I feel like maybe it was just a one-off. I'm hoping that the rest of the album isn't more like that one, because if so, it may suffer the same fate as Memory Almost Full, where a lot of people are already, like, I've never heard of that album, or I've never heard that album, or anything from it. It's just like, really? It wasn't that many years ago. was like within the past 10 years, wasn't it? Or somewhere thereabouts. Yeah, so I'm just like, oh gosh, he kind of does have a handful of albums that fall into that territory, and I'm the weirdo who likes them anyway, because I like pretty much everything he ever does, but that's just me. Other people are much harsher critics than I am. I'm just throwing it out there, calling it as I see it. But, yeah, the repetition, I'm like, you could put a little more work into that, but okay, who am I to judge? You're Paul freaking McCartney, so I mean, I'm not gonna judge you, but I'm just making an observation, that's all, not judging. So, yeah, I'm still very intrigued to see what the rest of the album's gonna be like. I don't know if we're gonna get more teasers between now and September. I kinda hope we do. You can pre-order it now. You can pre-save the playlist on Spotify already, apparently, which we all know I'm gonna do to make sure I have one way of listening to it the day it comes out. Even though I am definitely going to pre-order it as well, because I'm me and I need the physical copies of the albums. I am not satisfied with digital. I have to have a tangible copy, otherwise I always worry about, what if they pull it from whatever store I bought it from online, or whatever, but yeah. And what the hell is Kimberly spazzing out? I don't know, but anyway, I just personally like having the physical copies of albums, but that's just me. You do you. But, I also like to have a copy I can listen to day one of when they're released, so that's where Paul having his stuff on Spotify as soon as they're released is great, and for people who might be like teenagers who don't necessarily have disposable income yet, it's great for them because they can still listen to the album while they're waiting to get a physical copy or a digital copy or whatever it is they want, or choose not to. Paul still gets some royalties from it. Everybody's happy. So, I mean, it's all good. But yeah, I'm very intrigued to see what the rest of this project's gonna look like. If the whole Egyptian theme keeps going with the rest of it, or if it was just like a one-off. But I feel like with a title like that, and with the artwork being as it is, it's probably more than just a single song that's a nod to that. So I'm very eager to see where this goes, and I really hope we get more previews. And if you're unaware, Paul's going to be on Carpool Karaoke. Sorry, I got something in my eye. With, what's his face? James Corden on Thursday night. I think that's tomorrow night. So, you should probably watch that. It's probably going to be amazing. I mean, I've personally been rallying for this to be a thing since Carpool Karaoke's existed. So it's finally gonna be a thing that exists. I am so stoked for it. If any of you guys choose to watch it, definitely let me know what you thought of it down below in the comments. As well as if you guys listened to the tracks that I'm talking about in this video, what did you guys think of them? Like anything at all? If you agreed with me, disagreed with me, completely different thoughts, let me know. I am very intrigued and compelled. I want to hear what different people think of this stuff. So I'm gonna leave links down below in the description to both of the tracks, so if you've not heard them yet, but you want to, they're right there for you to check them out easily. But yeah, so that's about all I have to say right now, I think, so you guys know the drill. If you like this video, go ahead and give it a like. If you're not already and you'd like to be, click subscribe. Make sure you hit that bell notification icon so you never miss an upload. Leave comments down below. Make sure you follow my social media accounts. They're all listed down below. And if you like what I do here on this channel and you'd like to help support it, the donation link, as always, is down in the description. So, anyway guys, till next time, bye-bye.